I will call the meeting to order at 7:05 PM. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Any changes to the agenda? All right. Anyone want to make a motion to approve the agenda as written?
I'll make a motion.
Anyone want a second?
I'll second it.
All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And then we have a appointment of chair and vice chair. It's that time of year again.
Here again, every April, the city code requires that we appoint the chair and vice chair. So,
Okay.
turn it over to you.
I move status quo.
Right, that
I
would
agree.
be, that would be Nicole and Melissa.
I said, good, no,
I second it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. It's weird to vote for yourself.
I think we have a
Like,
pretty-
anybody else can have this spot, that's for sure. All right, public comment. None, no one's online.
Nobody's on.
No one's online. No.
All right, announcements. Introduction of Planning Commissioner Benjamin. I don't want to say your last name. How do you pronounce it?
Don't go by this, but it's Croplin.
Croplin?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, well, welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I
Whereabouts
was-
do you live?
What's that?
Whereabouts do you live?
I live in the farm development, so I've been here about 5 years. We're transplants up here, but we love it. We got 3 kids in Eagleview. I got twin first graders and a third grader, and yeah, we looked all over when we moved up here, and I'm from a small town, and just kind of, we looked in Shakopee, and we were looking in Lakeville and everywhere, and just saw the main street, and said, all right, this is it. So it was in the middle of COVID too, when everything was going nuts, so that's where we kind of ended up building as well, so it
Okay.
made sense at the time. So, yeah,
Sure.
but it's been almost 5 years, or it'll be 5 years this fall, and yeah, never look back, so.
Where did you live prior?
We're down by the Madison, Wisconsin area, so
Got
I'm a
it.
dairy industry guy, so shocker, from Wisconsin and dairy, and that's what brought me up here, work brought me up here, so.
Okay.
Okay.
So, my wife's from down there, but my family's from like northern-ish Wisconsin, so my sister lives like right over the border, so
Oh,
it just made a lot of sense, and yeah, we never look back, other than the sports rivalries, so,
Okay.
but yeah, we really like it up here.
All right.
Yeah, my recollection has Ben had some experience in reporting on, when you maybe
Yeah,
give
I
a
can
little
give
background on that.
a little professional background. I'll maybe start like in reverse chronological. So as I mentioned, I'm a dairy industry guy. I run marketing for a good size dairy manufacturer up here. I'm in the protein industry, so hot industry right now. Kind of worked around different areas of marketing. I worked in higher ed for a spell. I worked in the pharma world for a while, and I'm kind of in my second career. I was a journalist before this. Fun fact, I used to be a news anchor once upon a time and a news reporter, so I lived out the West Coast and did it for a while. Once I got out of that, I went to grad school as well, so I've got an MBA from Wisconsin as well. So yeah, that's kind of the short version of it. Kind of worked all over the place. Probably get pulled to a couple of trade shows here at some point this year. I think I've got one in August, so I'll probably have to miss that meeting.
Sure.
But I try not to travel too much, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's me in a nutshell. And then my wife works at Medtronic as well, so she's in, I guess what you call the MarTech industry, or not MarTech, but health tech. So she worked for Epic Systems before this, so it's like a 50-50 chance your health records are stored on Epic software. So MyChart,
Okay.
if you have
Yep.
MyChart, that's she used to work for that company. So yeah, so we just found our way up here. Kind of in a sense, we decided to move up here on a whim and say, you want to move states? Sure, let's do it. And like I said, we never look back, and we really like it up here. We're planning to raise our girls up here, and yeah, so.
Cool.
And he had the most adorable daughter at the city council meeting when he was getting sworn in. She was beaming like her dad was the president. It was so cute.
Don't tell her otherwise. Well, my twins had to come with me to the interview too, because like my wife and I, like, she said okay to something at the same time I said okay to the time, and then we talked that night. It's like, oh boy. So they ended up having to come, and they did great. And so but that's, to me, that's part of it too. Is I've always I kind of said this in the interview, but I've always been interested in city government. I always felt like it was inevitable at some point, and I came in here for something else. I saw they were looking for it on the marquee sign, so I filled out the form and see where it goes from there, and here I am. So, but yeah, I mean, that's what kind of compelled me, is just that sense of civic duty, and so like, it's kind of intentional. I start to drag my girls out to this stuff
Yeah.
more too. I drag them to work with me every once in a while, so we kind of just see how the world works outside of
Right.
elementary walls and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so.
That's awesome.
Cool. Cool.
Good. Well, welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Lot to absorb, so.
That's okay. All right, approval of the minutes. So consider approval of the following minutes for March 31st, 2026. I didn't notice anything. Did anybody else? I thought they looked good.
Yep, I thought they looked good too. I'll move to approve.
Okay. Anyone want a second? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public hearing, consider amendment to title, is it 2 or 11?
11.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Consider amendment to Title 11 of the zoning ordinance amending residential deck setbacks.
Sounds good. I have a short presentation I'm going to run through quick. And I know we discussed this a little bit at the last meeting, but Ben wasn't here, so for his sake, I'd just like to go through it a little bit more in depth. So this is a public hearing to, like you said, amend Title 11 of the zoning ordinance to amend residential decks and their side yard setbacks. So some background with it is, I do the deck permits here, and I received feedback that it was just, the 10-foot side yard setback was just illogical and restrictive. And a setback is the minimum distance of an allowable structure from the property line. So we had a discussion between staff and the planning commission last month where you guys directed me to schedule a public hearing to move forward with this potential amendment to change the setback from 10 feet to match the underlying zoning district. And when I say in these terms match the underlying zoning district, I mean that if a house is allowed to be no closer than 7 feet to a property line, then the deck is also allowed to be 7 feet to the property line. So why the change? So historically, developments in our city had, oftentimes 10-foot side setbacks. And due to a variety of factors, a main one being the cost of construction materials, developers have been proposing, and the city has been approving developments with side yard setbacks less than 10 feet. Oftentimes, we've been going at 7. So this allows the developer to incorporate more housing units per acre, thus providing profit margins that are conducive to taking on the risk that is developing residential subdivisions. So 7-yard side setback for a home while having a 10-yard setback for a deck, to me, is illogical, and it doesn't really meet the purpose of the zoning ordinance. So decks are commonly constructed on the back side of the home, and even with the primary structure. So I took this aerial screenshot today of Boulder Heights over on Andrew Avenue, just to show you that, they're already doing it in other parts of the town. So for this specific example, Ridgeview Heights is a good example, because we have 7-foot side setbacks there, but, as the ordinance is currently written, we're forcing decks to be 3 feet off that edge of the house. So the planning commission is being asked to hold a public hearing to consider an amendment to the zoning ordinance that would change the side yard setback for residential decks to match the side yard setback of the underlying zoning district. That's all I got. All right. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, I will open the public hearing at 7:13 PM. Again, we don't have anybody online, right?
Nobody online.
Okay. I have to ask 3 times, so anyone want to make a comment or have anything regarding the public hearing regarding amendment to Title 11 of zoning ordinance amending residential deck setbacks, please speak up. I'll ask a second time and a third time. Okay, public hearing closed at 7:14 PM. Discussion, thoughts?
I would say that I highly encourage us making this change. The way Lennar is building houses is putting some obstacles for people building decks, and they're gonna be forced to put their stairs on the side of their houses. And they're 7 feet, I believe, setbacks. And they're gonna have a difficult time even with that, because of the grade.
Right.
So I would say
Yeah.
that I'm in favor of it.
I think it makes sense. I think it lines up with the structure.
So the steps are not part of the deck, or are
They are.
They-
Steps have to meet the setback
Yeah,
requirement
so this-
currently.
Yeah. Is that what you were thinking too?
Yep.
Okay. Alrighty, and Lennar is who you're talking about down there, or is that? a
Boulder
different-
Heights.
Yeah,
So that'd be
Kinda
something
everywhere.
that probably should be addressed, but they got a lot of their venting coming out the back of the house.
oh, I see. Designs,
Not have to worry about that, but
I see.
people are wooing, awing about my deck and wondering about it, so.
Oh, you could even put it on there, right?
Yeah, I didn't have any venting on the backside of
Oh,
my
I
house.
see.
Didn't have a national builder, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Did they have like a ledger board for a lot of places? I mean.
No, they're not putting
Oh.
letter boards on unless
Oh, okay.
you are specifically asking for it.
Huh.
And that was part of the issue, is they were doing that in Ridgeview, and they were putting it up to the side of the house,
Yeah.
up to the edge, so people were like, so you're telling me I can't build on my ledger board? I'm
Oh.
like, yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it got kinda yucky.
'Cause there it gets a little confusing, yeah. If they have a ledger board, it's like, oh, yeah.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
Good idea not to have that issue, yep. I agree, so.
So right now, under it's currently written, it'd have to be basically 3 feet in, right, to get to the house.
Right.
Yeah, in the subdivisions where,
Makes sense, yeah.
That's if they built
I mean, it's-
7 feet.
It
Yeah.
might work. I also have a 5-foot stair width, so it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
Let me see.
So make a recommendation to the city council to move forward with amending the Title 11 of zoning ordinance, amending a residential deck setbacks. All in
Oh,
favor?
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. General business.
We do not have any general business tonight.
Okay, and then on to miscellaneous. Community development updates.
Just a couple updates on developments. You probably are aware that the Eagle View Meadows development, the 80 acres that is proposed by Mr. Sullivan, that was approved by the city council, the preliminary plat. He's working with a builder to take down the development. We're not certain if that will be constructed this summer or not. We're also working on a final plat approval of Highlands at Eagle View Second Edition. I think the second edition has 37 lots in it. That'll be on the next council meeting for approval, so they can move forward anytime after the plat is filed. I don't have, we just emailed today for feedback when they want to get started, but I assume it's like roughly June that development will be started and finished this summer. Brandon is working on, there is a park in that development now. If you recall, they added a park, 1.2 acres, I think the park land was, and
Yeah.
Brandon will be working with the Parks Commission to get that park built by hopefully the end of the summer, early fall.
yep, it's a smaller area, but it's gonna be a nice park, so. I look
I
forward
saw
to it.
that on your meeting last month or this month or whenever. I watched the meeting.
You do?
Yeah, I
Yeah?
watched it
Nice.
today. I was like, oh, that was interesting. It was like watching paint dry, but it was fun.
Yeah, I'm glad someone watches, man. That's good to
That was
hear.
a 2.5 hour meeting. I was like, wow, you guys got really a lot done.
Well, Tom was there, so.
Yeah, so it'll be a playground, some trails and sidewalks, a pavilion, and a half-court, sport court.
Yeah.
Other updates, we are most likely at the next city council meeting on May 14th. We'll be presenting a moratorium ordinance on data centers to the city council. Just on the off chance that a data center could locate in the industrial park before we have really thoroughly looked at issues specific to data centers. So currently, they would be allowed in Park I-35 and wouldn't require any special permits if we can provide the water. So that will be a city council decision. We don't know if they will enact the ordinance, but we'll present it for their consideration. And that's it.
I'm working through the old school police department building, where we've been working through it. Most of us on the work group, we're fixing it up to make it a flexible community space. So I'm meeting with the company we hired, the architectural company, ISG. We're meeting with them on Friday for a site visit, And then 2 weeks after that, we start meeting with our group again and discussing like what the building's gonna look like, what the construction costs are gonna be, and maybe some programming and stuff that has to do with it, so it's exciting. And
That's very cool.
What's it gonna be? I'm
a
sorry.
flexible community space, so a place
Yeah.
where you can have a birthday party or a grad party or just any kind of little small gathering like that,
Yeah.
which is a big need in the community
Boy
right now.
Scouts, Girl Scouts, yeah,
Yeah.
just anything.
That's great.
Whereabouts would it be?
It's by Elko Speedway. If you drive just past it, there's a,
Do you know where Frederickson Field is?
For the,
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
The
so
food
Frederickson
shelf.
Field, it's that building,
Yeah.
right
Okay,
in front of
okay.
Frederickson Field.
Yep.
we have a food shelf that is a nonprofit operated by volunteers in the community, and they operate out of that building right now.
Okay.
Thursday.
Just out of the garage mostly.
Just out of
right?
the garage,
Yeah.
Yeah, and this won't impact them at all. We're gonna allow them to keep using the garage. So,
Yeah. Because they made a nice turnaround for people in there.
they did, and they do good work. So
Yeah.
there's,
Mm-hmm.
we weren't gonna displace them.
No.
I know, right? I know.
Oh, yes.
It is.
By far.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brendan, do you have any updates on how many single-family home permits that we have received or issued this year?
Roughly about received, probably 45 to 50. I think I've issued mid-30s probably so far, so,
Since the year?
since the year began.
wow.
It's
yeah.
January?
I know they're banging them out right behind here, yeah.
Yeah, back here, DR Horton by the school and Boulder Heights,
Oh.
they're still filling in some lots back there. Construction's going crazy by Jada Way and over on that side of town, so,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm sure you are. Yeah, no, it's,
Bang, bang, bang.
yeah,
yeah, I drove through there a couple hours ago, and it was like, yeah, every house is under.
it seems like every house. And
Are
Sundays a
they
day apiece?
selling much, or?
You're
I
gonna
think
do it,
behind
yeah.
City Hall is a buy,
Buy,
they
it's a
buy
little
before they
different.
build.
Oh, they do?
type of situation.
Okay,
Yeah.
all
Almost
right.
done.
I don't think that's true with DR Horton, but yeah. So last year compared to 69 total last year, so we're gonna easily eclipse that.
So did you see that Lakeville has putting a moratorium on? Is
Yeah.
that because of their school system, or?
No, it's not because of the school system. I think it's multifaceted, but the legislature is, considering a lot of amendments that would take control away from cities in terms of zoning and subdivisions and where certain uses are permitted. And I think it may have something to do with pushing back on some of that stuff.
Because I saw a starter home, like DR or something, like 600, starting in the 600s. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
And I think they do have a pretty, Tom, our city administrator, met with their city administrator recently, and he did explain that they do have a significant lot inventory, so even with the moratorium, they probably have a couple years supply of lots with stuff that's in the pipeline. So anything that's in the pipeline, they're allowing to finish out.
I thought it was permits of building, but the lots
Okay.
could sit there, right? I mean, it was just
I
permits.
thought it was developments, but
thought it was
I can't
permits.
speak.
Are developers taking ownership of the buildings or the houses and like renting them out? Because I know that's a thing too, where they will do that for so much inventory and then jack up the prices too.
Yeah, I haven't heard
people?
that.
Okay, that's good,
Doesn't mean
You
it,
don't want
doesn't
that.
mean it's not happening, but I don't know
right?
that.
That might put some more push this way then or something. huh?
Well, I kind of wondered about that, but I think even before the moratorium, that's the other thing to note, is we're getting so many more inquiries than, we've gotten a lot of calls over the last 10 years since I've been here, people just kind of speculating and watching and keeping an eye on our market, but it's changed this year, and the level and the amount and the new developers that are contacting us multiple times a week. We're meeting with new people that are speculating on Elko Market. It's always that same story. We've been keeping an eye on you for the last few years, and we'd like to come and meet with you and learn more about the area around your town. So,
Do you foresee that we may be, or hope, I know we hope for it, like more industrial coming and more to increase the labor market like we were talking about? So we don't completely develop out for houses and have,
I don't know. It's
I know it's a tough balance, but
yeah, it's hard to say when you're going to land one of those big industrial projects, and will the houses improve the labor market? Or is it a broader
Right.
thing than just building 200 new homes here? I don't know. But we speculate that it will at least improve the retail. Maybe we'll have some more service based.
I heard Park said Taco Bell and Subway is what they would like.
Yeah.
Everybody has special requests.
They, they talk about food almost every meeting, so it changes on the month.
Who sits in this spot? Who is that
Dan,
gentleman?
Dan West.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
all right.
Holidayville gas station, and then they were bought out by Circle K. Didn't they have like a purchase agreement, I thought?
They
I
did.
thought so,
They
on that driveway.
It was out at the Edelman property in the north side of 2, across from where the Traders Market is. And they just pulled out. The development company or the developer just said they needed a few more businesses to go in to make the finances work. So they didn't have other businesses at the time. And I'm going to add on to that. We reviewed a couple of concept plans at a staff level, and the way the concept plans laid out, it looked a little bit like it was leaning towards a truck stop rather than a convenience store or gas station. And we do allow truck stops, but they're on the other side of the interstate, more in the industrial area.
Right.
So,
Oh, I see.
Which would make sense.
yeah,
You'd have a northbound truck stop adjacent to Line J.
yeah, before you come into the cities. And I think that's it.
Okay. Anybody else have anything?
I do have a couple questions.
Yeah.
Was made aware to me by my neighbors
Mhm.
that they're in sequence of the same color houses in a general area of a neighborhood. Is there an ordinance on that?
Only in Boulder Heights, and that was one of the, Boulder Heights is done by PUD, so
Okay.
it's special, there's special conditions in Boulder Heights that don't apply anywhere else in the city, and that is one of the criteria, and we were made aware of that, and we are working with the builder to remedy that, and we will not allow a certificate of occupancy on the house if they don't fix it.
Talk to the builder before they put up the rest of the siding?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, this is happening in all directions of Boulder Heights in the new, is it the
Well, there
fifth
was-
edition?
There was one that I noticed in,
I don't know.
It's 4th and 5th.
Or the-
Yeah.
Yeah,
the regulation applies to all phases of Boulder Heights. And I did see another house that I know actually had been re-sided, so that actually raises an issue when a homeowner re-sides a house, like,
yeah. So Jada Way would be all new houses.
yeah, those are all new, yeah,
And
yeah.
then there's similar models. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
Every time
because-
we issue a building permit, we specifically, the cover letter states that it has to comply with these conditions. So must have just gotten missed by the builder. We're working with Lennar on that particular home, and they,
Couple of them, both, yeah. But then there's, should know my streets up there, but the one that's just north of Boulder, there's two, I'd call them, actually 3 block houses in a row. There's one at the corner, then there's 2 at the corners by the
Okay.
park,
okay,
and then there's one on the coming at the second house from
Okay.
the corner. It's
Okay.
black, or very dark.
yeah. If they're not identical, it would be difficult for us to enforce, and if the homes are occupied, it'd be difficult for us at this point to go back if we've issued the final COs, but we're,
Doesn't like a building inspector come out and like
Yeah.
take a look at that kind of stuff?
yeah, he should be looking at that. We've talked to him about that recently too, when we got this other recent concern was placed,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, we've been working to remedy it, but we'll get there. They will comply at the end of the day.
Perfect.
And this is a random thought. Is there a way, probably not, to have diversity in how the houses look? because all the houses typically look the same.
They're
Yeah.
very simple, but they're not the
Like, I'm
same.
like going, I know, but like the fronts are all the same. And I'm like, this
Yeah.
is so boring.
It's really common for.
Not to be,
Yeah.
it's just like,
It's really common for a builder to, have 5
I know, you just, I
houses
know.
or
you
whatever in a
just-
development.
they just slap
That would
them
be
up,
more
but
of a policy decision of the city council, I think, if they
Okay.
really want to enforce
Just more
that.
aesthetically pleasing and, I don't know,
And
different.
next time a PUD comes through the planning commission, it's, state, we can make that a condition.
Okay.
That's where I
just-
built
Which we
where I
can-
built. I'm the only house like mine.
Yeah,
so,
like,
yeah.
they all, like, I'm appreciative, like.
You're probably a custom home.
No, I bought I picked
Okay.
from a Boulder golf course, but
okay.
I built up there. I was the only one with a key land up there.
Okay,
So.
Sure.
Casey, it's on your screen right now, is letter A is on this ordinance. That's the one that is in question. So that's one of the regulations of the PUD.
Yeah, I remember reading
Yep.
this in the, yep.
Oh,
And I
so
do
there it
remember-
talks about the style too.
Because we talked about that probably 22.
Yeah, before me, yep, and I was 23.
But that ordinance actually was developed in 2015, 2016, under the, did you work with Bob Kermis?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like
The
going
he
back
was-
now.
I work with Jim Freeges.
I mean, for the record, it doesn't bother me. I mean, obviously, I'm the only house that's not Lennar in that area, so
Who built your house again?
Loomis.
What does the ordinance mean by height? Like first, 1-story, 2-story? Is that what it means? The one you just pulled up, 2 houses next to each other can't have identical color and,
And
I think that elevation was the
So-
word that was used.
Yep.
Just the look of the front of the house is
Right,
it's called
and
the
then
front elevation.
Oh, gotcha,
I
gotcha.
I think Lennar probably could, since it's on a grade, the elevations change.
Yeah, I just learned that today too. I thought it was based on how
So,
the lower
yeah.
floor levels.
Yeah. It makes- it makes-
It's the front
So
view.
this is called the front elevation. when-
Okay.
It's just the picture of the front of the house.
Gotcha.
It's the front elevation, so.
But they could just change by adding a different pole here or a different, like, siding texture there, or, that's how they break it up. so. Or
Different
color.
types of stone, different
Yeah.
colors, shakes on one, not on the other.
Gotcha.
'Cause if you look at DR, they're, or whatever, is that DR? They're like,
Yeah.
We've talked about this many times.
yeah. But it's all in little tweaks. So. Ultimately, they have to sell them.
Right,
you
I
know.
get that.
If they make something that no one wants, then they aren't gonna sell, but I think they're selling, I guess, so.
We've been getting good feedback. It's usually the building inspector that's out in the field talking to the job soups and, are they selling houses in this neighborhood? And I think we've been getting good feedback on the house sales.
Oh, good.
I know I saw a few went pending out by the school in that new development where Deer Horton is, so.
Oh, I didn't tour those, I toured a couple of these, they were, my wife liked the white, I'm like, it's white. Parchment, it's, she called, origami white, the lady said, oh, it's origami white, I'm like, okay.
That's funny.
Builder beige used to be the thing, now it's
Yep.
white.
Agreeable gray, when I bought my house.
Grable gray?
Everybody, like, don't you want agreeable gray? I said, no, everybody has.
Oh,
agreeable gray."
inside, yeah,
inside
gray,
the
yeah. Yeah, my son has greige, because that was something about 4 years ago, greige. It's a beige with a slight gray hinged, or a gray with a beige, yeah. Called greige. So, that's fun.
It's fun.
I paint water towers, I don't paint houses. Well, I do it once, but my wife does it every 5 years, so, yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, super quick, it just made me think, for Ben's sake, do you have a Ben or Benjamin?
I'll answer to either, but most people call me Ben.
Okay. Melissa's in the housing industry,
Still
housing, works for a city, county.
City of Northfield, I'm the housing coordinator.
Okay.
So yes, housing,
Just can't get away from it.
Right,
Just had a, oops, sorry.
yeah.
I was just gonna
We
ask,
just
what
go
does
with-
everybody else do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ron?
I work for a National Water Tower Painting Company, so we work all over the country, so.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Are you in the sales or contract part of it?
Estimating and managing, yeah.
Okay, okay.
You don't scale them and start
I
painting?
have climbed them, but not for a few years.
Okay.
If I can avoid it, I learned that long ago. If I don't have to, I've seen enough, I don't need to. Picture means a lot more to me.
Nice.
Yeah.
I work for the state of Minnesota. I work down in St. Peter, at the State Security Hospital.
I'm in new product development for automotive and power sports.
In manufacturing?
Hmm?
Yep.
Diverse
And
bunch.
Renee's gonna retire some year?
Never.
Yeah, we're trying to, we're kind of succession planning now, so we're working to have somebody else in probably this chair over the next several months, and then I'll stay on for a while, but just maybe in a little bit different role.
Do you have a date set?
Nope.
Okay,
That-
we're gonna
Whenever I
work
feel-
with us on his
yeah.
third stint.
Not until her replacement is determined.
She has a love for the game. I don't think she can walk away, honestly, if she wants to.
I might feel useless after if I just quit.
All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Anyone want a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 7:36 PM. Thanks.